Hey, you've just stepped into the Caring Corner, where life's caregiving challenges meet a whole lot of heart and a dash of sass. I'm Mischelle O'Neal, and I'm here to serve up insights, inspiration, and real life tools to help you navigate caring for your kids and aging loved ones without forgetting about you. Expect everything from time management hacks and emotional wellness strategies to technology tips sprinkled with humor and tenacity. Are you ready? Let's get to it. Hey, and welcome back to another episode of the Caring Corner. I'm your host and resident emotional wellness coach, Mischelle O'Neal. And today we're diving into a crucial issue that often gets overlooked, or we believe we just don't have the bandwidth, right? And that's managing our time and responsibilities effectively. Now, when you're balancing a career, caregiving, and personal growth, finding ways to streamline your task and reduce stress can be or feel overwhelming. But don't worry, I've got a fantastic guest with me today who will provide some incredible insights. Get ready for some amazing tips on how to better manage your time, delegate tasks effectively, and create more space for self care and personal fulfillment. So let's dive in. Now, I'm going to talk about Renee because her name is Renee Hastings, and I'm so glad to have her here. Now, Renee is president and CEO of Executive Help Now, and she leads a team providing virtual assistance services to small business owners, content creators, and busy executives. With over 15 years of experience, Renee offers administrative support, video podcasting production, and business consulting, despite challenges now. She holds a degree in business management, serves as a Dale Carnegie leadership training coach, and appeared on NBC's KCRA News 3 discussing business and virtual assistance during the pandemic. And we all needed a bit of that during that time, right? Now, Renee is also an inspirational speaker, podcast host, successful entrepreneur, and philanthropist. Oh, can't say it. Philanthropist. And leveraging her expertise, she empowers executives to prioritize life's pleasure while boosting productivity. Enabling them to enjoy more meals at home, take vacations, and delegate tasks effectively. And that's something that we all aspire to create in our busy lives, right? So just in case you're probably wondering, what does virtual assistance have to do with caregiving or in your life at all? Hold on to your hats. You're about to find out. Renee, welcome. I am so thrilled to have you here today.
Mischelle, thank you so much for that warm welcome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so honored to be here on your stage today.
So, I love to just dive right in. When we get together, we love talking to each other and ooh, we go deep into a lot of things. So, I'm not going to take the audience and all that, right? So, what I want to do is I want to just jump right into the first question. So, Renee, I know we touched on this in your bio. We already talked a little bit about this, but could you share, well, a pivotal moment in your journey that actually led you to focus on providing virtual assistance and business consulting? And I'm going to add one more thing, if you can remember this too. How has this influenced your approach or your philosophy, especially concerning, well, what my audience is dealing with: emotional wellness, caregiving, and maintaining professional balance?
Yes, I would love to answer all 50 of those questions right now.
I I know it was a lot at once.
No, that's so funny, Mischelle, because when I had on my very first episode, I did the exact same thing to my very first guest, and his name was Chris Stone, and he's an absolute hoot. And he answered me the same way. He goes, "Yep, I'll answer all 16 of those questions right now." So that's just a bit of humor, But I'm so happy to share a little bit of my journey and how I got to this place. So I won't go back so far as my upbringing, although that played a pivotal role in the work ethic that I have for myself as well as for my team. But when my kids graduated from high school and left home, I was an empty nester and I had so much time on my hands. And I still had all this energy. And I've always loved supporting executives because my whole career had been as starting out as a clerical assistant, no, a receptionist, then a clerical assistant, then an administrative assistant, and then an office assistant, and then an executive assistant to directors. And then the last 20 years as an executive assistant to the C suite, supporting chief financial officers, chief marketing officers, chief executive officers, all the chiefs. I've supported them all. And I just had a love and a passion for being their right hand, always being able to anticipate their needs, knowing what they need even before they do, and taking care of it behind the scenes so that when they ask about it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's already done. And this is where you're going to go. So I've been pretty much running people's lives or telling them where to go, when they need to be there, all the details, all the specifics. That's what I'd love to do. And that's what people hired me for, was my ability to be a top-notch executive assistant. But when my kids graduated from school and left, and I had my full-time day job doing what I love, I still had all this time after work. And I was like, well, now what do I do? I don't have anything else to do. And that's when I decided, well, maybe I should see if I can get my own clients that I can serve, my own executives that might need assistance. And I'll support them at night. And then, when it comes time to go to work in the morning, I'll just get up and go do my day job. That was in 2014.
Wow.
Fast forward, so I'm still working my full-time day job. I'm working my business part-time at night. But then by 2019, things changed. This is right before the pandemic. And a person that I had been networking with introduced me to someone, and they called me back in December of 2019. And they were like, okay, I got some money. How do we do business?
Wow.
And so I explained to him what a virtual assistant was, how it actually worked. And he needed administrative support. So he's like, so you would never come into the office? And I said, nope. I work 100% from home remotely, but we can Zoom every morning if you'd like. And so we just kind of had a good chuckle about that. But long story short, my time with him kept growing because the more he entrusted to me, the more he saw I was able to handle, and the more he kept giving me to do. So after about 8 months of this, I'm now working my full-time day job. This part-time night job has become full-time. So I'm getting home at like 6 o'clock in the evening from my day job, trying to whip together a dinner, which I didn't do really well, for my husband. And then starting on my business at about 8 o'clock at night and not getting to bed till sometimes 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then having to get up at 6 so I could be back at work by 8. So I'm sure many of your audience can relate to a similar time schedule.
Girl. I'm feeling you.
It is not easy. It is not easy. I was trying to function on 3 to 4, maybe 5 hours of sleep every night, month after month after month. And I was wore out. I was tired. And I'm a woman of faith. And so I prayed and I was like, Lord, I'm so sleepy. Nothing is being done with excellence, and you know that that's not how it's supposed to be. My day job isn't being performed with excellence. My night job isn't being performed with excellence. I don't want to operate in anything but excellence. Please send me some help. And so I actually hired my first virtual assistant. And
That's awesome.
whenever my life just changed dramatically, like in an instant, overnight. I was
Okay, I got to interject real quick because I got a
Mhm.
question.
Okay.
Being that that was what you did so well, was it hard to hand over the reign?
No.
What? What?
No, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I was
Oh.
tired. I was sick and tired of being tired. And so I couldn't hand stuff off quick enough.
Oh,
I,
ladies, hear this. Say that again, please.
I was sick and tired of being tired. And I could not hand off things quick enough. So, what I would do is on my morning break from work during my day job and on lunch and on my afternoon break, I would check my business emails, and anything that needed attention, I would forward to my assistant. And it would have three words: please assist, period, thanks, exclamation point. That was it. And I flipped those emails so quick. Please assist, thanks. Please assist, thanks. Please assist, thanks, over and over again. And then when I got to the house, I would ask her, so how's everything going? And she's like, this is done, this is done, this is done, this is done, this is done. Without me, it got done. And what I'm telling you, my quality of life has never been the same. I've
Wow.
been able to get more sleep. I've been able to think clearer. I've been able to come strategize on different things because I'm not so bogged down and overwhelmed. It's been amazing. It's been life changing.
Ooh, I'm
I'm,
feeling the relief already. Woo.
I promise you, I promise you. So when I talk to potential clients about the difference a virtual assistant can make in their life, I'm not just pulling something out of the air. I'm speaking from my own testimony of what my life was like before I got a virtual assistant and what it's been like ever since. And it's just been amazing.
So
Truly,
wouldn't you
I'm
say
a different person.
I believe it. And I was gonna say, before we go to the next question, wouldn't you say that one of the smartest things we can do as women is hand off, well, anybody really,
Mhm.
hand off the things that need to get done, but we dislike doing the most.
Yes. Well, the things that you need to hand off, though, are those things that aren't helping you increase the bottom line.
Mm.
So, speaking on a business perspective, if you're, checking email all day, or you're trying to get with five different people who have crazy schedules, and you're going back and forth on email trying to find a good time that works, that's something that an assistant can do.
Mhm.
Your job as the executive or as the owner or as the caregiver is to focus on the things that only you can do, the things that you have expertise in, the things that will impact the bottom line, so to say.
So we talked about this a little, and I know I'm all out of order, but it's where we're going, okay? Just roll with me here.
I just roll with it.
So we talked about this, and we're I understand, and for my audience, we understand maybe hiring someone who's, because we talked about a housekeeper, someone that, yes, I can clean my house. Yes, I know. For me, it takes 7 hours to do the full cleaning that I want to do. Do I want to spend 7 hours cleaning, or do I want to spend 7 hours in my business talking to clients and stuff? So you hand that off. And we understand maybe someone doing the laundry, sending your laundry out. We understand, like I said, cleaning the house, or even someone cooking, if it's got to be Hungry Roo or whoever to bring the food in, we understand that. But so often we don't get how we can use a virtual assistance in our house that can be just as effective, if not more effective, than some of these other things that are actual physical things.
Yes, absolutely. We have a few clients that are personal assistant clients. They're single moms who are high level executives running big businesses.
Mhm.
And they just need an extra set of hands to get stuff done around the house that she just doesn't have the time to do. Or if someone's sending her an email, she
Mhm.
may miss it because she doesn't have time to check her own personal email because they're too busy running corporations. So one of the things that she has us do for her is email management. So
Mhm.
we'll go into her personal email. She'll get notifications from like her, so that she's on boards and she does other. She's involved in her sorority and other nonprofits, and she's got her kids are small. They're still in elementary school. I think one's in elementary and one's in middle school.
Wow.
And they just relocated. So one of the things we did was help her with relocation. I'm hiring movers for her, making sure she got packed up okay, being in contact with the movers, and then making sure that her storage was available when she got to where she was going and her apartment was ready, and working with those people behind the scenes so that all she had to do was just show up basically and move in with her family. But because she was new to the area, she didn't know where the best hairdressers were or barbers for her son, the dentist. She had all these
Right,
appointments
right.
that needed to get done. And she was like, I don't know who would be the best people. And so she had a few recommendations. And so we, her virtual assistant, checked them out, made recommendations, and scheduled appointments for them. And sometimes the children needed to get back and forth from where they were to where they were going. And so Ubers could be called or taxis called or whatever scheduled to pick up the children to take them where they need to go. Just different things like that. But even when it comes to grocery shopping,
I was getting ready to hit that one. You know where I was going. I was like, even the groceries, you know.
absolutely. There's always, and I don't know if we can shout out different companies, but there are different companies that you can shop different grocery stores online,
Mhm.
put all your items in the cart, and then check out, and your groceries will be delivered to your door.
Right. Mhm.
Well, all of that takes time to do. So, yeah, you could do this yourself. But if you just send a list of stuff that you're out of to your assistant can place that order for you. You don't have to spend the time checking all the boxes and the quantities and all the things and, finalizing all the details. That's something that your assistant can do so that you can stay freed up to do all the things that you're doing as a caregiver. That's so important.
So I'm already thinking because, for me, writing down stuff a lot of times doesn't happen. So I'd be sending voice messages all the time. I
Yep.
I need sugar, just ran out of sugar, need butter. So
I
text.
love it. That's perfect. That's perfect. There's so many platforms. There's Voxer, there's WhatsApp, there is voice messaging that you can just leave a voice message. You don't even have to ring the phone. All of these different platforms and tools are available for you to use with your virtual assistant. And as it comes up, okay, let me send an instant message. I'm out of this, like you said, I'm out of that. Schedule me this. And then and with the laundry. I love a wash and fold service. I just can't even tell you how much I love
Oh,
that.
oh, do tell, do tell.
So there's a laundromat down the street from where I live, and they have
Mhm.
a pickup service and a delivery service. So they will come to your house, pick up your clothes that need to be washed, dried, folded. If they need to be put on hangers, you can put in a special request for hangers. And when you get it back, your clothes are clean, dried, folded, nicely wrapped up in a bag, sometimes with a bow on it.
Can
That
they
you
put them in the
guys
drawer too?
I wish. I wish. You would not know how many bags I have set up on the bed in the room. Yes. See, if they would just go that one step further, that's that extra mile service right there.
Okay,
Oh,
okay. So
boy.
we're going down this rabbit hole. So I'm gonna have to
I'm
pull us
sorry.
back here. We could talk all day on this, but
Right.
considering the numerous responsibilities that many of our listeners face, from the caregiving to managing career and personal growth, there are some common obstacles that they encounter when it comes to to managing their time and their tasks effectively. So, could you share, besides what we already talked about, could you share strategies for overcoming these challenges to reduce the stress and prevent overwhelm? And there are times, sometimes, because caregiving has additional costs, sometimes the laundry service isn't necessarily away. So then you have to make that determination. Okay, if I got to do laundry, what can I give up? And what are things that, so if you can help my ladies there, I would highly appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, one of the things I think about that's first necessary is for caregivers to recognize their own need for self care. That's one of the first things. If you prioritize yourself and your health, then the rest of these suggestions will come somewhat easily. Because one of my first suggestions is to time block. So if you manage your schedule with a calendar, which I highly recommend you do,
Oh, yeah.
schedule time on your calendar for your own personal care, whether that be going for a walk, to take a breather, lunch so you can eat and keep up your strength. Time block time with yourself and make yourself a priority to take care of yourself in that time. So that's one strategy that if you're not currently using, I would highly suggest that you use, that you are just as important as this person that you're caring for.
And time blocking actually frees you up. A lot of people say schedule it on a calendar, and that's great. But it's harder to mentally stick with a date or a time that you have to do something. What if you miss that time and then you're beating yourself up? But when you time block, that gives you some flexibility in there.
Yes,
And so
it
I like
does.
that.
And what I do is if I miss the time when I'm scheduled to do a particular thing, I'll just move it down the calendar to later in the afternoon.
Mhm.
So if it was a morning thing, I'll move it down maybe to my next available block, maybe just before lunch or during lunch. And if it still gets missed, I'll just keep moving it down the day to the
But you
next
don't
time.
beat yourself up
But
for it.
do not, no,
Yes,
absolutely not. Do not beat yourself up for it because you want to continue to maintain some level of flexibility and not feel so rigid. Like, oh, it's 10 o'clock. It's time for me to go for my walk. And then
exactly.
10:05 comes and you still don't have your shoes on. Then it's like, wait, it's okay. It's completely and totally okay. Either start late or from 10 o'clock or
Do an evening
reschedule it.
walk.
Do an evening walk.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just so long as you put something on the calendar that says, this is me time.
Mhm.
This is time for me to take care of me. Because if I don't take care of me, no one is going to take care of me like me, but me.
Exactly.
Right.
So what are some other obstacles that you see besides the time and things that they may be dealing with?
So, some of the other things I think is that similarly to time blocking, is some people may put too many things on their calendar
Mm.
that create this feeling of overwhelm. So, in between appointments, just put a planning time, put a busy
Mm.
time. And you don't have to do anything in that time at all.
So with that said, because that made me think of something, not only do we overschedule, but another thing that I see, especially with me, is the time that we allot is not enough time. We think we can get something done in a time that is unrealistic timing.
Right. Right. And so that's one of the things, you be real with yourself. Right. So if you know that it takes you a full hour to what is one of the things to
Cook dinner.
cook dinner. If you know it takes a full hour to cook dinner, schedule the full hour and maybe schedule an hour and a half just to give yourself some buffer in case you get started late or you see you ran out of something, you have to run out super quick to go grab an ingredient, whatever. Be realistic with what it's going to take and try to prepare as many of those things in advance, pre-chopping and that sort of thing. So all you have to do is assemble
Mhm.
dinner instead of having to start from scratch with everything.
Exactly. And girl, if you got time, go ahead and assemble and pull it out the freezer and put it in the oven.
Right, exactly, exactly, 100%. Anything you can do in advance, freezing, starting something in the morning in a slow cooker. How
Right.
about
Oh,
that?
my favorite.
Yeah, slow cooker life is where it's at.
Right, right. And so, okay, so we talked about time blocking. We
Mhm.
talked about over scheduling.
Yes.
Anything else you can think of?
And then delegate. Delegate.
Well, that's hard.
Delegate. Well, because like you were saying a little bit earlier, don't you find it hard to let go? No, no, it is not. I promise. Once you start delegating that one thing that's going to lighten your load even a little bit, you're going to start to love that feeling. And you're going to be like, ooh, what else can I delegate?
Girl, it's like, no, that's when you say, I'll do whatever I can do to keep this virtual assistant because I don't want to go back.
Right, exactly. Because there's so much that can be done remotely. You don't have to do all the things. Even though it seemed like I was talking about earlier, ordering groceries,
Mhm.
it doesn't seem like a lot. And it isn't a lot, but it all takes time. Time that you could be using to either take better care of yourself or to turn your attention to the person you're giving care to, or focus on something else at the house that's more important. For this our personal assistant client, we also pay her bills for her.
I
So
I was just going there too. See, we be thinking
yeah,
of the same because
yeah,
it wasn't the paying the bills, but I'm thinking what takes most time out of everything that I have to usually vet an hour and a half for, and that's technical issues. If you've
yeah,
got to call a technical company to fix something like your computer's not working right or your cable isn't acting correct or something like that, that
mhm,
is really time consuming. And
yeah.
and I'm like, do you train your virtual assistants on handling those things too?
Absolutely. If you have an issue, you call your virtual assistant with the issue and you say, "Hey, Renee," or virtual assistant, "my cable box is messing up and I need someone to come out here and take a look at it. This is my cable company. This is my account number. They already have my address. Have them come out here. You have my calendar. You see my availability. Put them in here so that they can come and fix this thing." And
That's
so
awesome.
we take care of that. Or if there's a lawn care that might need to be paid,
Oh, yeah.
different things like that. If we can find you do research, internet research on lawn services in the area, then help set up the account with them, get them paid, and there's various ways that we can go about taking care of that for you on your behalf. And just different things like that. Send you the receipt when it's all done. Keep a log of all the stuff that gets done. All of the things we can take care of those things for you. You don't have to be the one to do it.
Wow. And I'm thinking even your client with the two kids, just the organization between their sports activities and stuff
Yeah.
and because you can quickly overschedule those or the two kids have
Mm-hmm.
conflicts in their schedule and it's like how are we going to make this happen and I know that there's this new virtual family calendar that you can put up on the wall. Well, not virtual, is electronic or calendar that you can put everybody's schedule. And
Mm-hmm.
even having a virtual assistant to run that calendar to
Yeah.
make sure that everything is coordinated where your husband's schedule, your schedule, if you marry, and the kids' schedule are all
Yeah.
synchronized and together.
Yes. And one of the things, even Google Suite is an
Mhm.
okay platform for doing that, because you can set up as many Google calendars as you want. And you could have a Google calendar for your son's school activities, your daughter's school activities, your activities, including all your work and personal, which I highly encourage people to put all their work and personal on the same calendar. And there's a way to show all three of those calendars and whether or not they overlap. You can do that in the G Suite as well as in the Microsoft Office suite.
Wow.
So to turn them all on and then bring them together and see where's the available spaces to put anything.
So I'm feeling the stress leave already, just I'm telling you. It's like, oh my gosh, you can have other people do this for you. And that's what's so rare. You don't think we as women, especially, are programmed, I'm not sure that's the right word, to just do it all. If we can do it, just do it all. And just to know that. So how do you handle, or how would you handle that guilt side of hiring? So, because the first thing that hit me in my head is, hey, I'm supporting someone
Mhm.
to make money for their family is one, you
Right.
know, and
Right.
it's a mutual agreement and a help there. They're helping me to be
Mhm.
able to, and I'm helping them. So any other points to deal with that guilt that we may be feeling to of doing that?
The first thing I would say is to try to get to the root cause of where
Mhm.
that guilt is stemming from.
Of course, yeah.
So it could be something that happened in your childhood where someone said something to you that if you can do something, you should do something. Or if you, or some inner vow that you may have made as a young person without even knowing that you were doing
Mhm.
it. That could be that'll take some counseling and therapy or some deep thought
Or
into
coaching, yep.
or coaching, yes. Or when someone said, keep asking why, but why?
Mhm,
If
mhm,
something makes you feel a certain way, but why? Answer
mhm.
that, but why? And keep doing that over and over, like 9 times, I think she said do that.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
And then that will help you move in the direction of what a root cause could be to that guilt that you
Mhm.
feel for taking care of yourself, for prioritizing yourself over someone else or something else.
And then, like, again, like you said, it could be other things. It could be, um, a money issue, how you feel you should spend your money, or what things are deemed worthy of spending money on versus, you do it on the food, you do it on this, but someone to help me do what I could do myself. And it's all these things. So it could be that there's so many things that it could be.
But what do we spend money on? We spend money on the things that add value to our lives. So if food is going to add value to your life, then yes, you think wisely about how you spend money on food. If
Mhm.
having an assistant is going to add value to your life, then yes, you prioritize that assistant over maybe going out to get 4 or 5 cups of Starbucks a week.
Girl, don't get me started. Don't get me started. You,
So
you see, I'm looking away. Okay.
I'm just saying that's one of the things we have to. If funds are limited, figure out where the discretionary is going because everyone's got a little bit of discretionary somewhere that they're spending on something. If
Yeah.
they're going to the mall and buying a dress or buying an outfit or some shoes or whatever, would they rather have those shoes or an assistant that can lighten their load during
So
the
here,
week?
I'm gonna help them real quick. Starbucks isn't gonna get rid of your stress or your overwhelm. In
That's right.
fact, all that caffeine may add to your stress.
That's
But that
right.
virtual assistant is gonna help you de-stress. There you
That's
go.
I love it. Well said. Well said. I could not have said it better myself.
So, so
That's
with that,
right.
with and we talked about a lot of the handling of administrative things, but in caregiving, there's, like we said, there's home management tasks,
Mhm.
and these are busy women. Is there anything else that we've missed? Any strategy of, or why you would want a virtual assistant that we've missed that would get our women to have a paradigm shift, to just think of it in a different way?
So one of the things I think when you're thinking about think about as you're caring for someone else's home, someone still needs to care for you and your home. So when you are able to see the value in that and actually be the recipient of the better quality of life because of that,
Mhm.
then that will make it easier for you to make more decisions like this, like delegating things that you can do. Absolutely, you can do it. But time is limited. Each of us has a certain amount of time on this earth and for every 24-hour period. How we spend each of those hours matters. And you want to make sure that when you are spending your time, you're doing the things that are most important to you in that time, while someone else handles the rest of the things.
And when you said that, I started thinking, you said in their home. I'm thinking a lot of times they come to our home.
Mm-hmm.
But like for me, my parents have their own home and I have my own home, but they're still calling me to assist with stuff. And like right now, my mom is talking about a new lawn care person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I don't know anyone around that area. And I
So you
don't
have
even
your.
know who to start. Exactly. So your virtual assistant doesn't necessarily only have to work for you.
Mm-hmm.
They can also work for your extended you, correct?
Exactly, 100%. Because just like you would have to do that research to try to find a lawn care person in that area, you don't want to be spending your time on the internet clicking, searching, trying to find, figure out doing all the reviews, reading through to see who's the best. You've got better things to do with your time. So you'll say, "Hey, Renee, I need a lawn care person in this area. They need to come 3 days a week. This is our budget. See if you can see, who can fit. Send me some options by tomorrow."
Girl, I'm like, you have sold me. I'm like, oh my gosh, what my life would be like.
Yeah, yeah. Anything that they're asking you to do, you can certainly. I mean, that's an easy thing for us to do. We do that all
Mhm.
day, like all day. That's what we do. That's
And,
one of the
and
things we do all day.
and I could even see like when we have there's a lot of time the care is long distance or
Mhm,
the care is with someone who they're just older and their cognitive isn't as sharp as it used to be,
mhm.
but they still want to maintain their dignity and they still want to be involved in the things of their lives. And
Cool.
so having a virtual assistant that you could even say, hey, Renee, could you check in on my mom every at least 3 times a week, just to see if there are any administrative or any particular tasks that she needs done,
Mhm.
and and we'll go ahead and set up and make sure it gets done.
Absolutely, 100%. That's definitely something that can be done by a virtual assistant. There's
Wow.
so many things that can be done by a virtual assistant that you don't have to do, that you can make sure it gets stayed on top of. And just like you were saying, how your parents want to stay involved, maybe even in that lawn care decision, you ask your virtual assistant not for one, but for three. And then take all three to your parents and say, these are your options. Which one do you want? And let them stay involved in the decision.
Oh, this is priceless. This is beautiful. So I love this. So look, we've been on here. Now we got to go. So in your experience, what are some impactful strategies or hacks that a busy woman can implement to make their lives more manageable and stress free? Now, my biggie, so I'm gonna really throw a loop in here because I didn't tell you about this one. But my biggie is because we are so busy, they need to be short, quick things that we can do in our lives
Mm-hmm.
or that we can pass off or that we realize that, hey, I don't need to be spending my time. So how can they prioritize tasks and delegate responsibilities in their personal and professional lives? And what role can that virtual assistant play in the process? And this is even now, I want you to think quick. What are things we can do to make our lives better? And we don't have a lot of time. And you know this because you do it.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking is that whatever you can think of,
Mhm.
send us the note, send us the voicemail, send us a quick email. Get it off. The quicker you can get it off your plate and onto our plate, the more that gets done in a short amount of time. So that's what I would say. If you can think it, if you say, I have a need for this, assistant, help me. Their response is, okay.
Actually, I'm beginning to like Voxer for this now. I'm like, Voxer would be perfect for this.
Yes, absolutely. Voxer, WhatsApp, there's Google Voice. I mean, all of them. They absolutely. We use Slack. We have there's a way to communicate on Slack that we use that we absolutely love. There's so many instant messenger type things that you and your assistant will have immediate access. And it's an IM. It's an instant messenger. And so
Right. And I think being able to, the other thing that's running around my head is there has to be a priority, because especially if you're dealing with someone, like someone, like if I let, or not if I let, but if you were helping my mom and you were dealing directly with her, well, a lot of times they think they can pick up the phone every time, or they can pick up, and so what I'm seeing here is there has to be you need to let me know the priority level of this task.
right. Well,
Right.
and you brought in another component where your mom would be the one actually calling the assistant, which
Right.
isn't typically how we had worked in the past. It's typically with you that we would work. However, if that's something that you would want to do, that's certainly something that we could discuss.
Well,
And
because the reason I'm saying this, and I would do it the other, me personally, I would probably do it the other way where you deal directly with me.
mm,
But the problem with that is that constant call that you get. Like, I'm in the middle of a board meeting and my phone buzzes and I it's like, oh my gosh, I know who that is. So if you
right.
say, from this hour to this hour, if there's something important, mom, dad, I
Mhm.
need you to
Call
call this
your
person.
assistant.
Yeah,
Right. Call the
that
assistant.
you got it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That makes perfect sense. And then the other thing that's helpful too that we've worked with, that we've discovered in the relationships that we've built over the years, is that a quick touch base every morning or every afternoon, even if it's by text, to say, hey, just checking in on you. Do you need anything, this morning? Or just following up to give you an opportunity to say, oh, yeah, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. And then look into this and let's get back together this afternoon and let me know what you find out or something like
Right,
that.
right,
So the
right,
quick touch bases in the morning that are super helpful just for the quick, these are the things that are my priority for today. And
right.
then when your assistant starts to get so many different things, your assistant will probably ask you the question. She'll say, I'm working on this right now, and I just received this. Which one is the higher priority? Should I stop what I'm doing right now, drop everything and do this? Or should I continue, finish this off, and then start working on that? So they'll let you prioritize the things that are important to you and then follow your lead.
I love that. And the reason I love that is because when I was out in the workforce, one of the things I always taught my team is when someone higher would ask us to do something, and I said, yes, it's absolutely our responsibility. However, this is where you lay the responsibility back on them. You say, I can do this for you and I can do this for you, but both of them won't get done in the time allotted. Which is your priority? And you
Right.
lay the response, and I love that you laid that responsibility back on the person that you're servicing. So I really love that.
Yes, absolutely. It's a tremendous partnership. And usually the partnerships are they're not just project related partnerships, but they're actual relationships that get developed for the long
Yes.
term. And
Yes.
when we partner with you on your journey of, caregiving, we're we're your person. You know what I
You
mean?
my people. You my
You have
people.
people. Yeah, let me call my person.
That's
Call my
from that old
person.
saying, my peeps. They're my
Yes,
peeps.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. All
So
right.
we love
Now, this is my last question. So, because like I said, we could talk forever. And I hope somehow our conversation has even given you some other things to think about on others that you can serve or how you can serve others. But
yeah.
as an inspirational speaker and successful entrepreneur, what advice would you give to women striving to balance their professional ambitions and their personal fulfillment? And how can they leverage delegation and time management techniques, including those of using a virtual assistant, to create more time for self care and enjoyment?
Well, one of the first things I would say is to prioritize yourself. You are important. You matter. Your feelings matter. Your energy level matters. Your mental health matters. Everything about you matters. Love yourself. And when you start to love yourself and care for yourself just as deeply as you care for those that are in your responsibility, you'll start to see a willingness to allow others in to serve you in the midst of you serving others.
Wow, that's nice. That's good. That's really, really good. Really good. So, Renee, tell us
Sure.
how we can keep in touch with you.
Please, please, please stay in touch with me. Our company name is Executive Help Now, and we can be found at www.executivehelpnow.org. If someone is in immediate need or want to have an immediate conversation, they can text the letters VANOW, which is VA Now, to 1-866-943-3591. And they'll get an immediate response with an opportunity to download a brochure that says, what can a virtual assistant do for you?
Wow.
So
With that, make sure I get that because you didn't give me that one. I want to make sure I put that in the show notes. I got all the other stuff, but I want to make sure. Actually, that one, and yes, because I don't have your website either.
Yeah, I'll send you all the links. We're also on Instagram. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, all of the social platforms.
Right.
I also have a YouTube channel called Renee Speaks, where people can tune in and listen more about, because if a caregiver is a business owner, that's our typical audience to get business tips and tricks and tools and resources. But I'll share all of those links with you.
Right.
For the show notes, as well as our other brochure on how to know when you're ready for it.
Yes, thank you. And I had the social handles. I just didn't have those two. And I was like, oh, I need those. I need to make sure that the texting and yes, and the actual website. So
Yes.
Look, I am so glad that you were able to hang out with us today. It was great. And I can't wait to get this aired. So if you found today's discussion helpful, make sure to subscribe and share this podcast with anyone and everyone that you feel would benefit. And that's everyone. And don't forget to leave a comment or review. And I'd love to hear your thoughts and new insights that you gain that you're looking to adopt. See, it's not just about getting these insights, it's about adopting them to manage your time and responsibilities more effectively. I want to thank you for joining my special guests, Renee, and myself, Mischelle, today on the Caring Corner. Until next time, stay resilient, stay strong, and keep moving forward. Take care. Let's say bye, Renee. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Mwah, mwah,
mwah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. That's a wrap for today at the Caring Corner. We've tackled some big topics, but remember, you're not in this alone. Subscribe to keep the wisdom and warmth coming. And stay tuned for amazing guests who'll be joining us to help round out your caregiving toolkit. Catch you next time and keep conquering those challenges.